A 3 and a 2 and a 1. Hello and welcome to the Naked Tech Podcast. We're here to strip down the latest trends and innovations happening in the world of technology. I'm your friend Jeff Kim.
My name is Calvin Lee, and I know how to solve the AI copyright issue.
You've done
I've
it,
solved
Kelvin.
it, obviously.
You want to give New York Times a call?
So, okay. I'm gonna nerd out a little bit here. So, there was to give everyone a bit of context. There was a case last couple of weeks where the New York Times was suing OpenAI because it ingested their articles that was meant to be behind a paywall. Is that the rough gist of it?
Has AI figured out how to get through the paywall, or are you saying OpenAI actually physically paid?
I,
I mean, it's not much, I suppose. I mean, if they're spending billions on GPUs.
Yeah, without going through the absolute details of everything, basically, what do we do about these AIs ingesting books and articles? And how do we solve the whole royalties and issue and the copyright issue, et cetera, et cetera? So here's my question. Search engines have been doing it since the dawn of the internet with crawlers and everything. Why doesn't it just read the robots.txt?
I believe there is a robots-like file that you can have for AI scraping
Yes.
these days.
So for everybody else who isn't an SEO nerd like Jeff and I, when a search engine crawler hits your website, it reads a file called robots.txt to sort of understand where you want it to go and where you don't want it to go.
No follow.
And follow, no index, full index. Why don't they just do that now? What is the issue here? And what am I missing? I don't understand. Are they saying that OpenAI is not respecting the direction that it's giving the crawler or whatever OpenAI uses? This isn't so different from a search engine.
I mean, the language models, let's say even GPT-3, 3.5, that is a free version for OpenAI right now. That model was trained, years ago, right? Like we're talking like 2018, I think.
I see.
So that they wouldn't have had that set up, but I think going forward, that is a legitimate way to do it, and I think they, if they haven't come up with a set of standards there, like I think that'll be implemented pretty soon. Is this one of your predictions, by the way?
Oh, no, I just wanted to, that was just my opening for the episode. But that's a good segue into episode 175, where we wish everyone a happy new year and we give you our predictions of the year. We're usually about 20% right going at this rate for the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, let's be the judge of that, because I thought I'll pull up. We had a couple of years of hiatus, and so we didn't do the COVID field predictions. However, do you have it up?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm going to pull it up.
Okay, so I've got it in the show notes folder in our Fabric. So let's start with 2020 then.
Yes.
So the last 2 years we did this was 2020 and 2021. So it was through COVID actually, but 2020 technically before COVID. So I just pulled up a couple from each of us. Kelvin, you predicted in 2020 that Project Artemis, which is NASA's new mission to get to Mars via the moon, Project Artemis is to launch in 2020, which I think did happen. Perhaps maybe it didn't launch that year, maybe last year, but you did add that there was a view to put a man on the moon in the year 2024, which happens to be this year.
Let's put it up there.
So that this is like I don't know, like a delayed prediction from 4 years ago. Wow, was that 4 years ago, really? And I think you could be right.
Yeah, I like my other two predictions as well. Valve will launch Half-Life in the second half of 2020, which I will have to confirm whether they launched Alex, the VR version that you were playing a while back. And the next iPhone will not have a USB port, which I was right for 2021.
Not.
Well, they have it now. It's just 4 years late, really.
Yes, I did say that year in 2020, Apple will buy HBO. Still has not happened.
Hey, it might happen in 2024. You never know.
I mean, Apple TV, I think it was quite fresh back then. Trying to think back now, but like I really love the Apple TV content these days. Lots of good sci-fi. There was Silo. I don't know if you got to watch
I
any of
did.
those
I
Apple
did
shows,
watch
Kel.
Silo. I think they did better than Disney in 2023.
Disney,
Mm.
yes. I think Disney could be one of my predictions this
Ooh.
year, but yes, Apple TV doing some good things. Let's go to 2021, our last set of predictions. Got a couple each from. Oh, you got it on our blog post, so I'm reading something else. But here we go. I said that SpaceX will successfully launch and land a Starship prototype after going to low orbit and back.
They haven't done it yet, right?
So they didn't land it. It didn't quite make it to orbit,
Yep.
but I think I wanted to add this one because just in November they did launch an integrated like a full flight with the full setup. Wasn't a prototype at all. That went to orbit, I believe, but it kind of blew up as well. So yeah, 3 years later, we're not there just yet.
Yep. Mine were pretty boring for that year.
Oh, Disney Plus. There's a Disney Plus one. I wanted to call that one out because you said that it'll hit 100 million subscribers. That was 3 years ago. Guess what it is now? Because I looked
I
this
have
up,
no
Kelvin.
idea. 95.
Uh, they're at 150 million now. Might have gone down a little bit in the last 6 months, but you know, you got that correct. I don't know
Ish.
if it happened that year when it started,
Yeah.
but just the other older prediction for me, I did say in 2021 that a cinema chain somewhere in the world will introduce some subscription service
Ah.
to a streaming service, e.g., The Mandalorian, so forth. So I think I was like a little bit correct here
Mm-hmm.
2 years later because there was a couple of Ahsoka episodes that were in the cinemas before it came to Disney. I don't know if you remember. Did you watch this Ahsoka, by the
I
way?
did.
Mm,
I did.
yes. There was that one where I'll try not to spoil it too much, but where there are flashbacks
Oh.
and wars with a certain character.
Look,
That was all in the cinemas first. So yeah, I don't know. I was half right there.
nothing that came out of Disney last year deserved to go on any big screen anywhere. Anyway. Um, yeah. We can chat about that in a different episode.
Mm, 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 yeah, Disney all around, Star Wars, Marvel. I'm quite enjoying What If.
Oh, I loved What If. If they get the What If writers to do everything else, I think we've got a deal here. But don't touch those writers, all right? It's the last good thing about Marvel and Disney, and I think they should not touch it with a 10-foot pole.
As long as they don't go on strike, Kelvin.
Oh yeah, about that.
All right, let's go to present day. Harp music. Bring it back to the present day. I don't have that clip. I don't have that soundbite. I'll have that ready. Make sure. 2024. All right, let's go. Who
Hmm.
wants to go first?
Scissors paper rock. What should we do? I don't know. You seem more prepared for this episode than me, really. Why don't you go
Yeah,
first? And I'll.
okay. All right. As usual, I'll start with a boring one. It's not so fun. I'll sort of get to the more crazy ones later. But our favorite topic, especially from last episode, the browser market share. So I think back in the early days of predictions we are doing this. But okay, do you know the current breakdown at least on desktop? I'll read that out.
60 Chrome.
We've got 65. This is as of
Oh.
December 23, and I do have a link. You probably don't have it, but
What is it?
it's on Stat
Statcounter.com.
Counter. That's the
I
one.
remember that one.
So Chrome is 65.29. Let's say 65, rounded to 65%. So still very dominant. I think if you follow the trend though, it's sort of. Hang on, I need to bring the page back. Yeah, it shot up after November for some reason, so that's a bit strange. Um, and the next is Edge, which is probably predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I need to bring up my screen at 11%, or let's say 12%. Safari is at 9%. Firefox is at 7%. And the fifth one is Opera at 4%.
Yes.
That leaves us with if my maths is correct, 2.5% is the rest. Now, um, a bulk of our last episode was spent talking about my new thing, which is the Arc browser by the browser company. Now, my prediction is going to be, and again, we try to make predictions that are quantifiable, that you can measure, and you can definitely say yes or no at the end of the year. Unlike the Bill Gates of the world, who says, "Oh, AI is going to grow even more this year." We don't want to do those sort of predictions. We want to do something that's quite measurable and succinct. So I'm going to say I have to think about this. I think it'll be number six because it's not no way. It's not even in the charts at all. Arc browser.
The problem with this prediction is it's based on Chromium. So
Mm.
does Stat Counter measure the browser, or is it measuring the tech it uses? Because are all Chromium browsers under Chrome?
I don't think so because I think a lot of those isn't Safari based on
No,
Chromium now
Safari is WebKit.
or Edge is actually.
Edge is. You're right.
Yes.
Edge is. Okay, 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 okay. Let's go with this.
Yeah. So there is I'll put that in the share notes for the super nerds out there. I do have a Google Docs. I've sort of downloaded a CSV and got the whole chart. There's about 20 different browsers there. Actually, I'm going to open that up. I'm going to read out some of these browsers because I don't know if you've heard of them. So number six right now is something called 360 Safe Browser. Have you heard of this?
Sounds spammy as hell, but keep going.
There's IE still in at number seven.
IE.
Um, yeah, so I guess that's
Die.
like
Just die.
nine, and yeah, so there's people still running Windows 95 apparently. Yandex browser,
Of course.
Qt browser. It's a browser called Cock.
This is not this. This is just bad for YouTube. Anyway, keep going.
COC. Um, Sugao Explorer. These must be all Chinese ones. There's a whale browser,
Ah, okay, okay.
Axon, Sea Monkey, Pale Moon, and the last one is other. So I don't think unless your theory is correct and Arc browser is part of Chromium. I think it's somewhere in the 0.07% right now.
Yep.
So it's going to take a lot to be, number six even, to beat 360 safe browser. But I think I'm going with this. I'm going to say safely number six. So that's about 1%. Um, and to beat Opera, it'll be 3.3. Although Opera has been going down if you look at the trended sort of chart there. Um, a couple of reasons. Windows is, I believe, very imminent.
Yes. It was. I think we said something like spring or something. The
Yeah.
American spring.
If it hasn't already happened, so if Windows users out there, please let us know if you've been able to successfully
I'm
install
I'm
that.
I'm on the waiting list. I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay. So that is imminent. So I think that's one of the factors. Also, the mobile thing, the mobile app, which is going to be meant to be amazing. Like a, a whole rethink of what a mobile browser should be. That's how they're pitching it. I think that's going to sort of garner some momentum, and it is popular on Twitter and sort of the design circles, engineering circles. So yes, I'm going to say Arc browser
Yes.
prediction 2024 will be either number five, number six on that list.
My biggest worry if for Arc is the browser is something that we use every single day. We're so used to the existing UI. If you think about Opera, Edge, Chrome, Safari, they're all the same. Tabs on top, URL at the top. I get it. It doesn't confuse me. I think anyone apart from the early adopters and you know, the professional users, pro users, let's call them, it's going to be hard to engage with the masses. Like, why would I replace the big globe on my desktop to something new and fancy? It works for me. Oh my god, it looks like I got hacked. You and I have worked in spaces where we change the font and people think they got hacked. It's just the to get over that that momentum is going to be hard for Arc. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a big task, but yeah, like we sort of covered last week, I believe in the team, the company, and I think marketing is pretty good.
Mm.
So yeah, it's I feel like it's one of those where it's gonna like stay at that very low level, or something just gonna hit and just grow that momentum. Like even when Chrome first came out in 2008, I think
Mm.
remember, I don't think we were working together just back then, but I do remember like talking to the rest of the team members saying, "Hey, this Google just created a new browser. Like it's at 0% right now. What do you think's gonna happen?" And I think it shot up pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, no, I want to see what they do in monetization because I want them to survive as a company. We know that there are companies like Brave Browser that tried the whole crypto thing, and I don't know if that worked out for them at all. But yeah, all the best to Arc, and we hope they provide some competition because that's always good. So it's down to my prediction at the moment, and the one I want to bring up is we know that Samsung is announcing their AI coming up. I need your help with this one because I don't know how we're going to measure this, but I actually think Samsung will have a very strong play in the AI space for one reason, and that's your washing machine. So,
Ooh.
because Samsung is probably the only mobile, mobile manufacturer that also does your phone, your washing machine, your vacuum cleaner, your TV, your air conditioning, God knows what else. And they have the power of a whole country behind them, which will adopt anything Samsung related. I think they will get this to the masses quicker than OpenAI, than Google, than all the other big players because the convenience of telling Bixby or whatever they're going to call it in the upcoming release.
I was trying to think of that.
Hey Bixby, switch on my TV, play something for my kids, and also run the dishwasher. Oh, I've run out of vegetables in my
First, use
refrigerator.
face recognition to unlock the
My
device.
Bixby just activated. So, so sorry to all the Samsung users out there. I just think it's going to be such a cool experience because the AI will scan my refrigerator to see if I'm out of blueberries and make an order for me. I think no one else can do that.
Hmm. No, you're onto something there. So I think you're also referring to the fact that these LLMs are gonna reside locally on the
Mm,
devices, possibly without the internet as well. So yeah, Samsung is one of those companies that are like really set up for this. I think the promise of the whole IoT, even when I went to my first South by Southwest in 2011, like, the smart fridge and all that sort of stuff. God, that's like 13 years ago now, Kelvin. Um, like that promise could be a reality. That's very true.
yeah, but also I think you mentioned LLM and this little thing struck in my head. The data that these devices have, while they're niche and they're a very minute part of your life, it can actually put it all together. It actually collects a lot of data about you when you watch TV, when you run the robo vacuum, when you open the fridge, what you pull out of the fridge, when you run your washing machine. I mean,
Mm.
what does that provide the LLM to feed back into something useful to you? I think a future helper robot thing.
Well, CES is next week, and I think that's probably our next episode subject. But a lot of this is going to come out. I think LG coming up with a pet minder robot that does a number of other things. That's something I've been dreaming about for a long time. So yeah, I think it'll be an exciting year. Now, before we sort of get on to how we can quantify that, I'd love to know the sort of the stats around, your typical household. Like if they have, say, 6 or 7 different appliances, do they all go for one manufacturer? Um, or, at least because like, I think per device, if you can talk to your washing machine, that's great.
Mm.
But I think the power is really like if the washing machine can also converse with your toaster. Probably not a good
Yeah,
example.
no, I see where you're going with this. Like they've made some headway with Matter, which is the protocol used for all home IoT devices. So we're talking light bulbs, your doors and things like that. I think that will help make it easier. But I think
Mm,
there hasn't been a top layer, sort of something like a Chat GPT esque thing, a multimodal thing that knows how to, sense the temperature or the look on your face or something to make an educated decision on how to run the IoT devices. So I think Matter will be the basis for that. I think Samsung will do what it does currently with like the Galaxy Watch in the sense that it will give other Android users, other users, some functionality. But if you want to get the full blown Samsung experience, you're gonna have to get a Samsung washing machine.
I'm thinking also like in terms of standards and protocols, the single
Mm.
protocol. I think that's where Samsung and the LGs of the world have suffered the last few years. But like this is a language model, so they can just talk to each other in language, English or Korean.
Yeah, but the thing is whether you would open your LLM up to everybody to sort of ingest, right? I mean, if it's under a closed LLM, then it's not going to work. It's not like a llama or anything like that where you can just put a top layer on top and read that. Um, yeah, I don't know how we're going to measure this, but I think Samsung. We're going to be talking about them in 2025
I mean,
because
this could be a prediction for next week where like Samsung will make a whole bunch of announcements.
yeah, hey, even
They're not going to cover
maybe the
this
AI
yet.
will give that announcement. We'll never know.
Mm, it's true, true. All right, good one, good one. Samsung AI Vision. I'll go to my second one. Okay, on a similar theme, I suppose. I think a lot of ours tonight will be based off AI, obviously. Okay, I'll just say it up front. Bard, as in
Yeah,
Google's AI assistant,
barf.
will replace Google search as the default, or will be given as an option to be the default.
This was like
So,
your prediction a couple of years ago where you said it would go all dark.
yeah, that didn't happen, did it?
Mm,
I mean, I do like it does follow dark mode, I think, doesn't it? I think it
I
does
think
because
I think
I'm
it does. I
always
think
dark
it
mode.
does.
So
But
okay,
yes, I don't. Well,
yes.
Bing did it. Uh,
It's not the default. There's like a switch. You sort of do
uh,
the search, and then on the side panel, it might give you an option for like an AI response with Bing. Um, but yeah, now with Gemini, I think Google have been a little bit reluctant to go down this path. Just I think they might have the better AI, right, than OpenAI, because they seem to be a little bit uh, concerned about safety issues with this.
mm,
Yeah. So I think it depends on that, and I think you're right. Bing will probably go first in terms of default.
yeah, yeah. No,
Mm.
I think definitely. I, it's the Google homepage is like sacred. Like even you add a link,
It
it
doesn't have to change, Kelvin. I mean, you're just going to get different responses, right?
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting because the one. Well, don't forget, ad money is the number one priority for Google,
Mm.
allegedly. Um, so if they can, if it doesn't touch that, go for your life.
I think that can do sponsored responses as well. So yeah, that probably isn't the other reason why this prediction might not be coming into fruition. But yeah, that's a pretty clear cut. I think this year, but by the end of the year, maybe even like July, August sort of time frame. I think a lot of this is going to come to a head. I'm also saying this because I had a bit of an experience with my dad. So I've shown him how to use voice Bard Gemini from his the Mac Mini that I gifted him for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. And yeah, he's loving it. He's loving it. And I asked him the other day, hey, so do you just use Bard now instead of Google search? And he's like, yeah, 100%
Yeah,
with his voice as well.
the reason why your prediction is sound is because of Gemini as well. I
Mm.
mean, that talk about how powerful Google's Gemini AI model is, and we haven't even seen what Gemini. What did they call it? Gemini Pro, was it?
When I
So yeah, which is not even available yet. The one where the multimodal AI model where you can write something and it automatically knows what's on screen, and they have Gemini for your phone, and they've got Gemini for your desktop, and then they have the enterprise version that we haven't even seen what the capabilities are. So why not?
as usual, the branding is a little bit nuts for Google products, but yeah, like let's just call it Gemini. There's like I think three sizes they call them, three sizes of Gemini right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but it's
This is
not
the
easy.
biggest, yeah, language model out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't see why not. I mean, to add, why don't we do a prediction mini and just say it'll take over the main response from Bing.com and just go full open AI on Bing.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Ultra Pro Nano. So
Oh
Nano
no,
is for on device, Pro is for wider task, and then Ultra is for highly complex. Yeah, we can.
it's funny, right? It's like it's all they almost sound like chips.
Mm. Would you like Gemini Ultra on your iPhone 15 Max
Mm.
Ultra thing?
We're
Anyway,
entering very strange times, Kelvin. It's gonna be the next revolution.
all right. So my next one is a little fluffy, but I feel like it's your area of passion, and I've seen some crazy videos on some things the device can do. So my prediction is the Meta Quest 3 will have an enterprise application that is, it's not just for like design studios or anything. Like, it will actually become a mass adopted device for a particular enterprise application. I haven't decided yet what that would be. I don't know if Adobe will want to partner with Facebook on using some of their pass-through stuff. uh, but I saw a crazy video where there is this piano app where you load it up onto your Quest 3, you look at your piano, and it just like, these keys start dropping down like your typical AR game, but then it teaches you how to play the piano. And I just thought to myself, oh my God, you're telling me that if I'm in the factory, I can look at this machine, and if I load up the right app, it can actually tell me, Kelvin, you added the wrong component to this PCB, or you should do this before that. I mean, the applications for it would be wild, but I couldn't find any mass adopted enterprise application. I think 2024 will be the year for that.
So you're referring to when you say enterprise, you're referring to more the hands-on type of work rather than your average knowledge worker with a couple of screens at the desks, because that's already there.
Yeah, but you don't see it like you and I. Okay, tell you what. When you and I walk into an office and see somebody using an
Yeah.
AR device doing something in the office, that's when we know it'll be mass adopted, and then that will be the way we judge the accuracy of this prediction.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to quantify that, but it's almost like if it's kind of accepted, because I feel like that's probably happening already in certain places. Like it's not definitely not mass adopted right now. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, definitely. I think even at home you can use that just to replace your screens, right? These things are getting so good, just the fidelity of the pixels and comfort on your head. People are watching these as their cinema, you know.
Yeah, I saw I saw this
Vision.
funny use case where the guy was doing dishes and he was watching YouTube at the same time. But because of the pass through, you can see the dishes, and then there's like YouTube playing. Like, it's a quality of life thing, right? I when I do the laundry, I listen to a podcast, not our own. I'm not that
Yeah.
crazy. Um, so that's a possibility, and I think a lot of responsibility will sit with Apple's Vision Pro, obviously, because Apple. I just worry that Apple's going to screw this up, and you know I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't put enough resources into it. They get distracted by something else. Blah blah blah. For example, like they're dealing with the whole Apple Watch thing in the U.S. right now, and they don't give it the love and design resources it needs to really, engage the masses. When I say masses, I mean people who can afford a $4,000 device in your face. And the Meta is affordable. You know what I mean? And it's good.
Out in Australia.
Yeah, like just see what happens.
Yeah, I think with Apple, they're probably all pivoted to language models right now, or training one. The WWDC is going to be all about that. A new Siri, maybe they'll rebrand from Siri.
Hmm.
Hope I didn't get any devices go off just now. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it is kind of related to the whole vision thing though, because we've had Oculus. devices.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got Oculus Rift as
Yeah, I
well?
did. I did. It's sitting in my
Uh,
closet. Up.
what was the main? Yeah, same. I don't even know how to turn the PC on right now. So, um, the main thing about that was the UI. Like you had controllers, they're fine, like playing Beat Saber and things like that. But like if you wanted to input words, if you wanted to type, the keyboard kind of sucks. Now the voice recognition, that sort of voice interaction is so good. I mean, it's almost faultless. I mean, I've got I use the ChatGPT voice assistant now, the free version, on my iPhone. It's perfect. Like if I'm hungry, lunch ideas, whatever it is, just a question. Like it understands you perfectly, and she talks back like as if she's Scarlett Johansson. So it's like no.
Mm.
I think that's the future where like we have some sort of visually augmented digital world in front of us. I think we're a few years for that to be adopted by the masses, just because they're so big and bulky right now. But once they get smaller, and I think our input is voice,
No,
like a voice.
I want to also see what Meta does with the Ray Bans that they have, whatever they call them, smart glasses, smart something. Well, anyway, I think if things from the Quest can trickle down into the Ray Bans that they have, it'd be interesting to see what You're walking on the street. I see Jeff. He brings up a little profile thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your prediction is
I will see
some
someone use it in the office
Okay, you personally.
first.
Okay. I was going to say, even if an audience member spots someone with Meta Quest 3s.
Okay, I get 10 points if I see one. I get 5 points
Okay.
if anyone else does.
Just one. We just need one person,
Just one,
and no one's laughing at them.
and no one. Well,
And we can't, it's like different to VR because we would always be laughing at that person. But now, because of pass through, they can
yeah,
see us laugh.
I know. Pity.
All right. Again, you've done it again, Calvin, because my next one is related to your last one.
Oh,
All right. So I might have to send you this link actually.
hit me on Skype.
Hit you on Skype. Let me just grab the URL and
If only AI could do this.
sort of we'll work out the fabric thing for next episode.
All right,
Uh,
got your Reddit post.
okay. Got my Reddit post. So Midjourney. So everyone knows Midjourney. Don't know if you've played around with that yet,
I
Calvin,
have.
but 2D images, great. Now it's sort of getting into video and 3D rendering just with words. And I kind of gonna go with or agree with the CEO of Midjourney's prediction that the holodeck, like in the Star Trek world, will be pretty much be possible by the end of the year. So here's his exact quote. Actually, it wasn't a quote. It was someone that heard in a team office hours thing. But it's a bit too small on my screen, so I'm just gonna bring up my version. Ooh.
Do you want me to read it out?
Okay, you read it out.
Okay, so this is from. It's an. I still don't know. What do you call a tweet now?
It's a post.
There's an X post by Nick St. Pierre at Nick Floats saying Midjourney CEO in office hours just said he thinks that they can get to holodeck by 2024. We're going to build a lot of stuff later this year, and I think we'll build more stuff than I've ever built before. That's a mouthful. By the end of 2024, hopefully we will have real-time open worlds. Holy beep. Okay, but didn't Google try this web chat thing where it looked kind of 3D 2-3 years ago? I remember Marquez was looking into it.
I guess we're sort of getting into the beyond the uncanny valley now because I think it's going to feel real. So like going back to the Vision Pros, where the graphics is so good, and if you can render a 3D world in real time. So like no one's built this 3D world. No one's produced it with their hands. Just from like you've seen those demos where you start with a single image and then AI would sort of paint around it as you sort of zoom out.
Mm-hmm.
The world sort of builds and builds. Even with 2D images, that's it's not in real time. It's sort of like it's almost real time, but it's not quite there. But the way this is progressing, the way these visual models, maybe that's a good way to put it, instead of language models, are improving, and the some of the video output that's coming through, it's just incredible, man. So it's like since when did LLM start? Really, it was like November 2022. I think that's when ChatGPT first came out
Hmm.
to the public. It's been like 14 months. 14 months, and look at the progress.
So, are we talking Princess Leia Come Save Me hollow thing, or are we talking full projection mapping of the
Full,
space around
full
me?
3D rendered world.
And
So there's
then
like imagine GTA.
and then you project it onto a 2D plane like a
So you
monitor.
walk in that space. So if you have
Um,
some sort of AR, VR, MR device on your head, you can walk around this world. You could like I don't know, maybe you could run, you can drive,
I see what we're
and
talking
that
about
world
here.
painted as you go.
I
It'll just
see.
imagine into existence rather than
So it will procedurally generate as I walk
yes.
through a. You see, this is. I know I come back to this sometimes. So I've been trying to get into the whole, indoor trainer cycling thing, and some of the tech that they use to play a video of a rail place, like the Alpe d'Huez from Tour de France or whatever it might be, and then it projects a 3D image of you cycling down up the Alpe d'Huez. I mean, I'm not talking. So that there is like, and then the pace you go is and the actual pace you go up the Alpe d'Huez. But is that what we're talking about here? Like, as I walk through
Mhm.
Mount Everest, I can see Mount Everest, and then okay, okay, okay.
It
Hmm.
would be very difficult. Well, I mean, like right now you can tell whether it's digital or not, right?
Yes.
But
Well,
I think we're sort of getting to that. Like this year will like it will be very, very difficult. Like I've seen some photos generated with version, is it 5 now or 6 of Midjourney? Some of the generated images is like, no,
I think
there's no tell
I think the fact
difference.
that now there are only fan models fully generated by AI making millions of dollars a month, I don't think. But I think I think it will get by as real, and it'll be enough to trick your brain into thinking. I think we can get there. I don't think it's an issue at all. We won't be able to tell at some point.
Okay, my quantifiable example though,
Uh oh.
is that have you heard of the Las Vegas Sphere?
No. Oh, the ball. Yes, of course. The
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 ball,
ball
the big
that projects stuff. Yeah.
it finally dropped in Vegas. It's the $6 billion entertainment complex
Yep.
with a digital screen on the outside of the sphere, and this thing's massive, like it's a whole arena, and the inside is just as stunning with the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you two kind of open the venue with a set of shows, and I don't know if you've seen some of
I
those
have.
that footage. So I think my if my prediction is correct, they'll use this technology to have some sort of experience in the sphere this year.
Yeah, I don't think we have
Sort of.
enough time to cover the whole story behind the sphere, but the cameras that you have to use, the technology, it's not just stitching together an MPEG 4. It costs millions. Not anybody can just pop a film in the sphere. And the idea was to have a sphere on every corner of the globe. There was going to be one in London, there was going to be one here, but the cost and COVID and funding were all sort of barriers to that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, should we get down to the wild and wacky?
Let's do it.
My prediction is there will be another player to combat YouTube.
Mm.
So, I've been trying to figure out YouTube's stats the last hour or so, and I couldn't find anything, obviously. The reason I say that is I've recently jumped off YouTube Premium because I think they wanted to charge, they wanted to double the cost of the plan from like $18 to like 33.50, whatever it is, AUD for the family plan. And that's absolutely bonkers, right? I'm not paying $35 a month for no ads. We'll get around that. Not going to tell you how.
With YouTube Kids, or is Kids free?
So kids is part of YouTube Premium, but I don't let my kids watch YouTube anyway, but the ads are now back, right? For the how big is the sun, Daddy? Uh, so those things are annoying, but if you use a decent browser, any U block and things like that, you can get around it. So I think that's going to be a huge issue for YouTube, and I think YouTube doesn't mind that they're going to be losing users over this because for the people who don't mind paying twice, they'll make up for that user who left. Not about that, but I seriously think there will be some sort of service that will not take over YouTube. I think that's just crazy, but would find a way to be financially viable because the amount of storage, compute, and all that to make anyone uploading a YouTube video feasible and making money out of it is absolutely insane. But I predict that there will be a service. I don't know who it will come from. I know that there are people like Linus who tried to do float plane, where and you can sign up to that service, pay a monthly fee, and you can watch the creators in that channel and things like that. That could be one possibility where you start getting these closed walled gardens of content.
I feel like it could be an existing player that just improves their service a little bit, or like something completely fresh.
I think either is fine. I think Vimeo was the only one close 10, 15 years ago, but now Vimeo is just an awesome video editing tool, believe it or not. So any of the big sort of FANG companies can try and tackle this. Not that they ever want to, but I think that will. I think either the content creators, the big ones like Mr. Beast or whatever it might be, comes together and forms some sort of alliance and builds some sort of platform. I just don't think YouTube's model is healthy. I
Hmm.
don't have a solution for it, obviously, but there has to be a way to manage content uploads and creation and things like that. It's so easy for anyone to do it.
I'm gonna offer a couple of possibilities here.
Mm.
Maybe it's a good discussion point. First one I thought of immediately was Twitter X.
Mm.
Because if Elon has his way, he recently asked Mr. Beast to promote on
Yeah, that was
X.
a little
Didn't go so well.
embarrassing.
But I mean that's just an example. Like maybe one of these big creators will go to X just because for whatever reason.
Mm.
I mean, Mr. Beast is the number one creator, so that's huge. I think he did say he will try. He did say he will try. So interesting space, and I think Elon has a lot of resources and a lot of pull. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it on a podcast like this, but like I have seen a few Tucker Carlson episodes on X. It's like literally called Tucker on X now. Um,
I like where your head is going. I think the other player could be TikTok.
yep.
They've got the infrastructure.
I mean that they're there already. They've taken eyeballs off YouTube for sure.
Yeah, I don't see why they can't just do the instead of doing the shorts on YouTube, they just do the YouTube on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like just let people upload 10 minutes.
I mean, you got to get kind of philosophical about like what actually is YouTube,
Oh,
Kelvin. It's
oof.
not
What is the website?
like
What is the website?
user generated content. Is it more about that? It, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like we upload the episodes on YouTube. I think it's about long form. Let's put it that way. I think, your 10-minute videos, not your TikToks, not your reels or shorts or anything like that, but actual like people who want to watch.
I mean, a lot of channels are really highly produced. Like Mr. Beast is one of those
Mm.
examples. He spends millions on a single, 20-minute clip. Him helping out the poor in Africa,
Yeah, build
uh,
wells or whatever it is.
building wells. My second offering, Kelvin,
Mm.
I was thinking this might be a little bit out there, but is Netflix.
Mm.
Why couldn't Netflix offer some sort of creator service? Someone like a Mr. Beast. Imagine Mr. Beast on Netflix. That would
And
work.
and arguably they kind of do that, right?
Mm.
There are some smaller TV shows on. Um, yeah, because if you look at like Mighty Car Mods, which is one of the biggest sort of Aussie YouTubers in the country, they're on Discovery now.
Uh,
It's crazy. Like they're on Qantas like airline flight programs. Like it's like I think it will happen. I just don't think I don't think YouTube will be the king of user generated long form content. Oh boy, that's a we should have thought about this one.
Okay, we'll put it up there. I'll put it up
Yeah.
there. Now I've got a bonus one maybe to close
Ding
off,
ding
unless you've
ding.
got.
Let's go.
This one, I think, I just thought of this one just earlier, and going back to the whole AI angle, I suppose. In 2024, this game will not be released. GTA Grand Theft Auto 6. I think they've said 2025. We've kind of seen
Mm-hmm.
the trailer come out, or the teaser. A lot of speculation around the story and all that. The first female lead. Now, I believe, and this is also quantifiable, I think the NPCs are going to be driven by AI. So it won't be scripted conversations that you have with NPCs.
Oh.
So, and this has been much, talked about the last, few months. But I think the quantifiable part, measurable part, is that in 2024, Rockstar will share some sort of examples of that.
So they're gonna
Uh,
go full Ryan Reynolds in Fall Guy.
yep.
Fall Guy, was it Fall Guy?
I mean, you could have these conversations with NPCs. I do you know you're in a game? Kind of conversations.
See, I
Yeah.
just wish the game wasn't GTA because there's so much brutality and violence and you know what they're known for, right? Like, it, I think it will definitely happen. I like this add-on. I just can't wait. Like how, like, because everyone's gonna be online anyway. It doesn't have to be local on your machine, right? It's not gonna blow up your hard drive or anything. You can just keep pinging the GTA LLM. What would they call
Mm.
it though?
They would have to put a lot of safety measures because you just can't trust humans these days. You can get the NPCs to do all sorts of stuff, right? So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I think there are clever people out there. I mean, like, I would love to work on something like that just to figure out like what are the constraints, like how do we, these are language models. I mean, I often think about AGI, and we did touch on the P Doom question last week, but yeah, like I when I interact with ChatGPT and all the models, I feel like you got to be sentient somehow. Like how are you getting these, the context to the very pointed questions, and like I hold things back, I hold information back, yet they somehow work it out. Image creation, all that sort of stuff is just crazy to me. So I think, another 6, 7 months from now, like the application is going to be amazing
I,
and scary.
I'm gonna give you a much scarier game that will
Yeah.
get AI sentient. The Sims. I think that is when the world will end.
Wow. Maybe we're in the Sims right now, Kelvin.
Yeah, you
I
and I
could-
could be in the Sims game, being just pulled around, and they make us do podcasts. They're forcing us to do this. Um, Anything else to add before we end the episode?
That would be it. I have no idea how we've been going for time, but that's the outro.
Yeah, exactly. On that very scary note, we hope you disagree with us or agree with our predictions. Let us know what you think by emailing us or by going onto any of the major social networks. The starting point will be the website, so please go to nakedtechpodcast.com where you'll find the latest episodes as well as all the different and wacky ways to reach out to us, including X, which I hate to say. That's Kel out.
Jeff out, and that background music was meant to cycle, but it didn't happen. But yes, definitely Jeff out. Please let us know what your predictions are for the year.
Yeah. May not involve Sims. It's up to you.
All right. How long did we go for?
Oh, I don't know how to tell.
Mm,
I don't
I
know.
don't know when we started. I got hour and 16 minutes.
Jesus. What
Be
time?
about 40 minutes maybe.
Yeah, 40 minutes. What can I tell? Stats, CPU usage. Anyway. Okay.
I was really
Gonna
that the music cycling, but didn't happen.
stop recording.